Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to master Git, then you've come to the right channel, okay? In this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 steps for mastering the Git workflow, okay? So the first thing, as you can see, I have a repo open here on my GitHub, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download Git. Okay, if you don't have Git, if for example, if you're a beginner and you don't have Git on your computer, don't worry. Just go to Google and type in Git Bash. Okay, whether you're on a Mac or Windows, just type in Git Bash on Google, and you're going to go to the download section on the Git website. This is what we need to, you know, do what we need to do in this video. Okay, so once you've downloaded it, I already have it. Let me type it in on my computer here. As you can see, Git Bash. Let me click on it. This is what we need, guys. Don't let it scare you. This is what they call the terminal. Okay, we need this if you're a software developer, web designer. If you're as long as you're working with websites or applications, you're going to need to master Git. Okay, so I'm going to teach you these the 3 stages of Git workflow in this video. So once you've downloaded this, then it's time for us to get started. But first of all, what is Git? Okay, Git. Let me go on to this guy. We'll talk about who this guy is now. It's very important in what we're trying to talk about. Okay, Git is a version control system. It is used to track changes in source code during web development. Okay, and Git was created by this guy here, this handsome fella right here. His name is Linus Torvalds. Okay, and in 2005 he created Git. Okay, as you can see, this is his wiki section here. He created Git, and he's also the creator of Linux. Okay, the Linux operating system. Okay, so this guy is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. Okay, but yeah, so he created Git in 2005 to overcome the limitations of other version control systems at the time. Okay, so what does Git do? Let me go back into the terminal. What does Git do? Okay, Git provides a flexible environment for multiple people, teams, and developers to work collaboratively and securely. Git is a version control system, like I said. So that means it allows multiple people to modify the same file, to record and track changes, to revert to earlier versions of that file, to compare multiple versions of a file, and manage conflicts and merge the file. Okay. Lastly, Git allows multiple people to create and manage remote repositories like the one I just showed you earlier on my GitHub. Okay. So now let me go back to my terminal. Let me make it bigger actually. Let me make it bigger for us here. So now I'm going to break down the 3 stages of the Git workflow. You have to master this stage if you're going to be a software developer. There's no way around it, okay? So the 3 stages of the Git workflow, that's what this video is about. So now that I have my terminal open, we're going to get into the Git workflow, okay? I'm going to use a repo that I already have. I've been working on already. So let me navigate into it with a few commands, okay? Let me navigate into it. Just bear with me for a second. Let me navigate into that repo. This is what I want to navigate into, as you can see. So let me use the cd command, cd template.com. There we go. And now let me ls-la. ls dash so didn't mean to type that. ls-la is a command that basically lists all the files inside a folder. Okay, that's a command. This is a command. And when I type this command, I'm basically saying list everything inside this folder, and that's what we get. Okay, so let me type cd again to go into that. into my repository. This is the repo that I want to go into, and now I think I am inside it. So let me type ls-la again. Okay, now it's showing me that I'm inside this repo here, and as you can see, it's right here. This is a signal. This here shows me that that's where I'm in. So now what I want to do is I want to begin the Git workflow. Okay, from here I'm going to create a simple file. I want to create a file inside to go inside this folder, to be inside this folder. Take a note of what we already have inside this folder, guys. As you can see, we have 5 things inside this folder, right? And essentially 5 folders and 2 files. Okay. Now to begin the Git workflow, I'm going to use a command here called touch. Touch. Touch, basically, this is a command that says I want to create a file. Okay. So now let me just create a file called let's just say homepage.html, right? And then I'm going to press enter. You you know what just happened? I used this command to create this file. And you might not think anything has happened, but let me use this command to give me a list of what's inside this folder. Okay. And you'll see that something has changed. ls-la, enter. And guys, as you can see, this wasn't there before. If you go back up here, you see, because I just created it here. And now I have begun the Git workflow. I have just created a file right here. As you can see, right here, it even shows me the date. This is the 26th of December. I'm working at night, 10:31. As you can see, those are the metadata. Okay. So now that I've created this file now in my working folder, I have begun the Git workflow. That's the first step. Okay, that's a very important step. And now from there, bear in mind that this file here is still untracked. Okay, it's initially once you create that file, it's untracked. And the way we can let me show you that. The way we can see that is that you use a different command, git status. Git status will show us it will give us the up to date information on our project repo, on what's going on. So if I press enter, and as you can see, it's telling me that on this branch, on branch main, this branch that we are, there is an untracked file. Okay, and it's even giving me a hint here saying that I can move on to the next stage by using this command. Okay, and then it's showing me that this file is on track. That's why it's red. Okay, now we move on to the second stage of the Git workflow. Okay, the second stage, if you notice, it's giving me a hint already to move on to the second stage. So I'm just going to listen to it by using this command to move on to the second stage. So the second stage is we want to make sure that the file that we just created, this file, we want to make sure that we're keeping a track of it. Okay, so that is the next stage, which is the staging area. Okay, we have to add this file that we created to the staging area, and to do that we use a simple command here that we already have here. Let me copy that. Okay, now let me paste it here. Git add dot. This command git add dot is basically saying that add every single file that I just created to the staging area, even though it's one file that I created, right? And I could easily just do this git add, then I could type in the old file name, right? Like this, homepage.html, right? I could do that. But in cases where I created more than one file, I prefer to just use this command, git add dot. This simple command will add everything, okay, so that I don't make any mistake or I don't leave any files behind. I prefer to do this instead of typing the actual file name like I did earlier. Okay, so With this command, I'm just going to press enter, and by pressing enter, I have completed this very important next stage of the Git workflow, which is I have this untracked file here. I have just added it to the staging area, and the staging area in Git is the index file. Okay, this is where the staged changes are placed before you actually commit them to the Git history. And the final stage of the Git workflow. And by the way, if you want to know more about the staging area in Git, I'm going to leave a note on the screen right now so you can just pause this video and you can read more about the staging area in Git right now. But if you're interested in knowing the final stage of the Git workflow, then let's move on to the final stage of the Git workflow, which is stage 3. This is another very important step. Okay, this is the stage where you actually commit the files that you created and that you staged to the staging area. You commit them to your local repository. Okay, and since you have staged the files in the previous step that we just gone through, now you can commit them to your local repository using the commit git commit command, git commit -m, and then in quote you want to write your commit message. And remember, what we did is we created a file called homepage.html. So in this commit message, we just want to give it a simple description of what we did. We just say created, hold on, created an HTML file. Simple as that. Okay, simple as that. You don't want to make it way too long. Just 5 to 7 words is fine. Okay. Now with this stage, I'm going to press enter. Okay, and as it shows you here, it's telling me that one file has been changed and I have created this file, and it's showing me the commit message. Okay, and it's giving me this code here. This is a very important code because that is the commit code. It's a unique code that identifies what I've just committed into the commit history. Okay, so those are the 3 stages of the Git workflow, and these stages helps keep the local repository up to date with the changes in your workflow. Okay, it helps keeps files of your track, and that's it, guys. Congrats on learning a very important process when it comes to working with Git. And also, if you want to master Git and GitHub, make sure to watch all the videos in my Git playlist. I'm going to leave that on the screen for you right here. Okay, this is a simple video, guys. I didn't want to go in depth. It's just a simple 3-step processes for mastering the Git workflow, because I tell you what, it might look simple, but if you miss any step in this process, in this 3-stage process, you're going to make a lot of errors, and it can mess up your work and completely derail you when you're working with projects, especially when you're working with other team members. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace and take care. And also, guys, have a beautiful new year, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye. Take care.